Welcome. So happy to have you here. I wanted to announce just to start right off that next month, Greg and I will be putting our audiobook for human design and essential oils out into the world. So really excited about that. We've been working on that. Yep, it's great. And I want to introduce Greg. There's Greg, our extraordinary essential oil. He hates when I call him a guru. Alchemist, our alchemist and guide in essential oils. He has a huge following and a huge repertoire and extensive classes in essential oils that are magnificent. And he will be guiding us today in the advanced protocol of the type and strategy. Really looking forward to that. We are going to begin with asking you to get your oils out. Hey, Grace, please rename yourself with your type. We want to ask you to get your oils out. So you're going to need, I'm just going to reiterate this, you're going to need your type oil and your strategy oil. If you're a manifesting generator, you're going to have 2 strategy oils, and your etheric cords and your assemblage point. So you're going to need either 4 or 5 oils for today. Depending on if you're a manifesting generator, you need 5 oils. Once you've got your oils, just you can put your thumb up or make your, do the reaction just so we know we've got everybody ready.
Did you say that? Would you put that in the chat? So I don't
Yes, I will put that in the chat. Give me 1 second. I had that already, even, believe it or not. Here we go. We won't, so will there be a class on how to use Palo Santo and mugwort oils? That will be coming. That will be coming. I have lost my cheat sheet that I got out for you guys. Let me just see where I put that. Sam, can you put those in?
All the oils like you had sent yesterday?
Yeah, just
Absolutely.
the oils. I had it all out and ready.
Yeah, I got it and looked at it here.
Okay, thank you. So you want your generator. If you're a generator, you want your generator oil, your G strategy, your etheric cords assemblage point. That would be an example. If you're manifesting generator, you want your manifesting generator oil, your M strategy, G strategy, etheric cords, and assemblage point. If you're a manifestor, you want your manifestor oil, your M strategy, or the equivalent single oil if you're using single oils. Any questions? Everybody got that? We good to go? If for some reason you do not have one of the oils, just be in the field and the blessing of the field and follow with your awareness the areas of the body that Greg leads the protocol. All right. I'm going a little bonkers for not having that. Yeah, it's not showing up. Okay. So I want to talk for a few minutes. It's a long protocol, so the bulk of it will be with Greg. I want to just talk for a few minutes about this strategy, type strategy, marriage that is so fundamental to human design and to our well-being and our ease in life, our flow in life. So we've got type, strategy, and authority are like the three pillars, the fundamentals of human design. For everything else to work, you need to be aligned with your type, your strategy, and your authority. So we're focusing on type and strategy. So authority is how you make decisions. Type and strategy are married to each other. Your type determines your strategy. If you are a generator, you have a defined sacral, your strategy is to respond. You have that yes, no response system. Your strategy is to be in a dance with life and respond. If you are a manifesting generator, you have that sacral motor, just like the generator, that yes, no, and you've got a motor to your throat. Your strategy is to respond and inform. Let people know what you're going to be doing. If you are a manifester, you are here to impact the world. Your strategy, your best way to navigate through life is to inform people before you take action. If you are a projector, you have that open sacral with no motor to the throat. You are here to be the wise guides of humanity. Your strategy, the best way you can show up and impact the world, is by waiting for the invitation, waiting to be recognized. That doesn't mean you're waiting like in frustration or in pity of yourself. You have to be magnetic. You have to be doing what you love. Projectors are all about pleasure and enjoying themselves. If you are a reflector, do we have a reflector here today? We often have a reflector. I'm not seeing any reflectors. Put in your, April, can you put your type in? Thank you. Reflectors are here they're taking in so much of the world all the time. Their strategy is to take time, and they say a full moon cycle, 30 days, to take in all the information before they act or make decisions. Now, I want to just share with you something I actually came across this morning in one of my emails from the Jovian archive community. And they're talking about generators, and generators have that sacral motor. Manifesting generators also have that sacral motor. 70% of the population are generators or manifesting generators. All of us know generators. All of us are in relationship to generators and manifesting generators. Generators and manifesting generators dominate the world. Let's just be clear, for better and for worse. This is how it's played out. And we all are in relationship. We are either a generator, manifesting generator, or in relationship to someone. So I want to talk for a moment, and this is not to elevate generators and manifesting generators in any way. Let me be clear. Every type is equal. We need every type. But I want to give you some insight into strategy for generators and manifesting generators with that sacral motor. Ra talks about generators like they're mysteries inside of an egg, and that at any moment they can shatter the illusion that's around them, and they can be transformed. So a generator has a yes to something and the world changes. Just know the power of that sacral motor is huge. So when we're talking about living our design and living in alignment with our strategy, with our type and our strategy, it's about taking that mindset of our not self, our ego self, putting it aside, and instead relying on our strategy, relying on our authority. We're learning to surrender to what Ra called the experiment. This is an experiment. What happens if we put our ego aside and let our natural mechanism have its place, its life? So it's a kind of surrendering, and it's particularly important and necessary for generators in order to avoid frustration, that they experience when their mind comes in. So we're all conditioned to go to our minds. Generators have to go to their sacrals. They have to go to their sacrals. That's why it's so important for those of you who aren't generators or manifesting generators to ask your generator and manifesting generator friends yes, no questions. You want to support them on their path. It's going to make your life easier if they're following their yeses and nos. So, generators, I'm just going to share again a little bit of raw. Their ability to live and make decisions through their sacral energy has a significant impact, not just on their lives, but the world at large. When they're frustrated, the world becomes frustrated. When they're satisfied, their satisfaction is transmitted. That motor is a big energy. The greatest enemy of the sacral is the mind. It doesn't want the sacral to have control. Just think of it that way. So here we have our identities, we have our education, we have all our knowledge, and we think, this is telling me what to do, this No, the mind doesn't like that. The mind doesn't want to go with that, right? But this is the shift we're asking ourselves to make. So we're asking ourselves to make decisions from our sacral, but our conditioning makes it hard to do that. So that is the goal here for the generators and manifesting generators to make that shift. For each of you, that you've got your own stream of the shift you're asking yourself to make. For the manifestor, you're asking yourself to be as big as you are and inform people, to impact, to let yourself impact. Projectors, you're asking yourselves to go against the world's view that pleasure is like not okay. You can't just be in your pleasure and have your world work out, right? And to wait, to really wait until you get an invitation that feels really good to you, right? For reflectors, to take the time you need, not let yourself be bullied or pushed around by others. Okay, any questions about that? Great. So let's just take a minute before we shift into Greg and the protocol and just take a moment to come back to ourselves. Close your eyes for a minute. Just sense your arms and legs. Relax your perineum. Put a gentle smile on your lips. Just acknowledge your physical body, your precious human birth. And now shift the dial to your Buddha graph, your body graph, with its definition and its openness, with its planets in the different hexagrams, with its profile. And just zoom in on your type. Just welcome the type that you are. Just honor and respect the type that you are. And just for a moment, check in and see, are you aligned with your type and your strategy? What is your experience of your type and your strategy? Are you run by your mind and your ego, or are you surrendered? Or maybe what percentage? We could say it. It's a continuum, right? Are you allowing your body graph to have its life, free of the conditioning of who you should be or how you should act or how you should walk in the world? And then just take a moment to set an intention for this practice. We never know how we're going to be impacted, but how would you like to feel? What would it feel like to be aligned with yourself? Can you make an intention to align, to let yourself feel the ease that you might feel if you were aligned? And now, from there, let's just slide into the protocol with Greg.
So let's have you pull together your assemblage point, your blend. And remember, the assemblage point is about your past conditioning, your past experiences, your body, your mind, your emotions, all kind of coming together for this point of perception. And we get kind of locked into a pattern based on past conditioning. And here we're trying to break out of a pattern so that we can better align ourselves. Right? So with your assemblage point, begin inhaling. You can smell it from the rollerball, or you can roll a little bit on your skin and then smell it from your hand. You're inhaling through your nose, exhaling through your mouth. Take long, slow, deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. And as you're inhaling, keep your awareness on your brain. Your awareness is on your brain. You're taking nice, long, slow, deep breaths. And just be still with a moment. Just pause and just let go for a moment. Notice how it's beginning to make you feel. Begin inhaling again. Your awareness is still on your brain. You're taking nice, long, slow, deep breaths. Move your awareness to your cervical spine, which is the bones in your neck. Move your awareness to the upper spine, the part of your spine that's between your shoulder blades in your upper back area. Now move your awareness to the mid-back area. The middle of your back. The area just below your shoulder blades. Now move to your low back area. Just pause and be still. Just let it incubate. Keep your eyes closed. Same oil. Begin inhaling again. Your awareness is on the brain. Move your awareness to the cervical spine, which is the bones in your neck. Your upper spine, the bones between your shoulder blades. your mid spine, the bones in the middle of your back. And the lower spine. Just be still. Gather up your type oil, whatever type oil, or I should say, whatever type you are, grab the oil. And with this, you're going to do this. I'm going to do a demonstration and then you're going to follow. Okay. So you're going to take the bottle, you're going to hold it to your chest, right? Then you're going to bring your head down. You're going to inhale, hold your breath, head up, exhale, down, inhale, up, exhale, down, inhale, up, exhale, down, inhale, up, exhale. So you're inhaling through your nose, you're exhaling through the mouth, and then inhalation and exhalation together makes one breathing cycle. Okay, we're going to do this 8 to 9 times. You can go longer if you want, but 8 or 9 nails it. So you have your type oil, it's to the chest. Your head is down. You're going to inhale slowly. Hold your breath, head up, exhale. Head down, inhale, up, exhale. 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 Just be still for a moment. Keep your eyes closed. Just let it incubate. As you're being still, your awareness is on your temples. You're just sitting with your awareness on your temples. Bottle to your chest, chin down, inhale, moving your head up, exhale, down, inhale, 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 up, exhale. Just be still, be aware. Keep your eyes closed. Your awareness is on your temples. You're just being still. Let's do that again. Bottle to your chest, chin down. Inhale, hold your breath, head up, down, inhale, hold your breath, up, down, then 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 up. Just be still. Just be still. Maintain your stillness. Your awareness is on your temples. Okay. We're going to transition into the next aspect. So you're going to pull out your oil marked etheric cords, or if you have ironbark eucalyptus, you can pull that out. This is to address connections with people and past events. So pull out your oil. Okay, so what we're going to do is I want you to reflect on the people in your life and then focus in on one person. Some person, it doesn't have to be negative, it can be positive, but somebody who's influential either through being supportive or influential because it's an adversarial situation, there's conflict, whatever it might be. Notice what you feel. Notice what you think, and you reflect on this person. Now, as you're reflecting, take long, slow, deep breaths with the etheric cords, or if you're using ironbark eucalyptus, use that. Long, slow, deep breath. You're taking nice, long, slow, deep breaths. Just let everything go for a moment. Just pause and let everything go. Sometimes when we do this, we need a little bit more of a cleanup. So you're not necessarily thinking about anybody, just inhale the oil a few more times, just to clean those cords or those connections. Just take some long, slow, deep breaths. And as you're inhaling, start thinking of either that same person or another person. You're taking long, slow, deep breaths as you focus on that person. Long, slow, deep breath. And then just pause and let go. Just let go of everything for a moment. Just let it incubate. Let's try this again. Let's think of another person. Again, doesn't have to be somebody negative. It can be somebody positive. Reflect on the person. Reflect on the connection with the person. Begin inhaling the oil as you think and focus on this person. Let go of everything. Pause. Just be still. Recall an event. It could be a good event, a bad event, something that sticks out in your mind. Focus on the event and take long, slow, deep breaths. Then just be still. Just be still. Notice what you feel. Notice your body. What thoughts arise? Let's think of a different event. Reflect. Focus on the event. And again, begin inhaling. You're just pausing and letting go. Notice what you feel. Notice the thoughts that arise. Let's transition into working with your strategy. So gather up your strategy oil. If you're a manifesting generator, you'll need to grab 2 strategy oils. Okay. Begin inhaling. You're taking nice, long, slow, deep breaths. As you inhale, your awareness is on your low back, opposite your navel, on the spine. As you're inhaling, your awareness is on your spine. For a manifesting generator, you have 2 oils. Everybody else just has 1, but you have the manifesting oil and the generator oil. So we'll do 1 cycle with 1 and then another cycle with the other. Everybody else will just do it twice. Move your awareness to the area between your shoulder blades. You're taking nice, long, slow, deep breaths. And then your awareness is on the brain. Long, slow, deep breaths with your awareness on the brain. And then just pause and be still. We're going to do it again. If you're a manifesting generator, you're still using the same oil. We're not switching yet for you. Okay. So low back area, you're taking nice, long, slow, deep breaths. Up to the area between your shoulder blades. In your brain. Your awareness is on the brain. And then pause and let go. You're letting go. You're just being still. We're going to do it again. You're going to use the same oil unless you're a manifesting generator, and you're now going to switch to the second oil. Everybody else, you're just using the same oil again. Begin inhaling. Your awareness is on that low back area, the back side of the navel on the spine. The area between your shoulder blades. And your brain. Your awareness is between your shoulder blades. You're taking nice, long, slow, deep breaths. Your awareness is on your brain. Just pause and let go. Just be still. Notice how you feel, your body, your emotions, your mind, your thoughts. We're going to do this one more time. You're going to use the same oil you just used. You're inhaling. Your awareness is on the low back. Your awareness is the area between your shoulder blades. and the brain. Just pause and let go. Just let go. And we have one more step. You're going to pull out your assemblage point again. What we started with is what we're ending with, the assemblage point. Begin inhaling. Your awareness is on the armpits. Your elbows, where they crease on the front side, the inside of your elbow. The wrists, both sides of your wrist. The palms of your hands. Your awareness is on the palms of your hands. You're taking nice, long, slow, deep breaths. Move your awareness to the hips. The knees, especially the back of the knees. The ankles. And the soles of your feet. Pause and let go. Notice how you feel. Notice your thoughts, your mind. Notice your body. Your feet. Notice your feet. I turn you now back over to Robin.
Wow. Thank you, Greg. That I'm having a little hard time talking here. Let's just take a moment and, if you could share in the chat, if you could write in the chat your experience, just taking a moment to do that. Or if you would like to raise your hand and share it out loud, that would be welcome also. While you're writing, I'll just say for me, I was really struck by what I said earlier about the head, what Ra was saying about, we just go to our heads. We're so conditioned to go to our heads. And what I felt while I was doing this was I felt the grab in my head. It's like a wrist I didn't realize I was grabbing, and it started to let go and had that kind of that tension feeling of letting go. And then when we did the assemblage point at the end, I just felt this wholeness come in that was really, really lovely. Oh, thank you. That was really powerful. Just to feel my head unwinding was really powerful for me. So Leslie D said she felt goosebumps everywhere. April said, I felt a clean, clear connection between the head and the spine to the feet and an overall sense of wellness. Beautiful. Thank you, April. Joe is floating. Yeah. I get it. I totally get it. Grace felt my generator type at more impersonal and felt the joy of my type for the first time, that I could honor my type more from my joy, not my personal should, which keeps me from honoring clear decisions. Wow. Grace, that is a big one. Wow, I have chills with that. Yeah. And Jean, I sensed glaciers cracking and falling into the ocean, or bark flaking off of a tree, then sprouting a new network like a spider web within and around my body. Also, things are not what they seem.
Yeah.
Wow. Yes. And Yarrow, lovely emptiness, her favorite thing. Yarrow's my wife. Her favorite thing, that emptiness. Anyone else? Would like to speak or ask a question? Margot, yay, Margot. I'm gonna spotlight you with Greg and I. Greg and me. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm feeling tingly, but I also have a question, which I think I've asked before, but I find myself yawning so much. And I think you said that it's like sloughing off stuff. Is that what it is?
Yeah, so a few things are happening. Like when you see a yawn, in some healing practices, they'll say you're doing a little bit of a reset, which is a way of saying it. But you're really kind of shifting the sympathetic part of your nervous system, which is the fight flight, which we all have it engaged to a certain extent. And it's shifting a little bit more into the parasympathetic, which is rest and repair. And in that place, it becomes easier for things to shift. It becomes easier for things to align. It becomes easier for energy to move more up. Esoterically speaking, it's critical to be able to reach like a state of parasympathetic function, because it's how the emotional heart and the crown would connect. And there's actually a pathway in and around the medulla, which is the base of your skull area, and how the energy moves from emotion to mind, esoterically speaking, is tied to this activation of more parasympathetic activity. And when you yawn, you're kind of going into that state of a deeper type of parasympathetic function. And in neuropsychology, it would be your ability to let go of something. And here we're trying to align, we're trying to do better alignment, and we're trying to slough off our past conditioning, which means, you know, we got to kind of be able to let it go a little bit. And when we're in more of a parasympathetic state, it becomes easier to let it go. It's almost like where when we're in the sympathetic state, it's more like you're going to leave claw marks all over it, because the mind, you know, has identified with it. It becomes harder to kind of pry that out of the mind. And so the yawning is that shift. And then also it's a way of just expelling out old stagnant energy. You know, your body's resetting. It's you can almost say it's like a restorative process for homeostasis. Like you shift and you let go of something, but at the same time, as you make that shift and change, then you have to bring it in and go, okay, now let's stabilize this with homeostasis. We can't stay in a place of always shifting and letting go. We have to shift and then bring it back, and then shift and bring it back. Just like in meditation, how you would have expansion and then you start to kind of come back into your body, and then you expand and then you come back into your body. It is tied to like an integrating process. And so, you know, yawn is a good sign. Getting a little sleepy is a good sign. Not being so sure of what you are thinking, as weird as that sound, is a good sign, because you're not going to change being completely like, I know exactly what's going on. Like, you know, you're not going to be able to really step out of those boundaries, so to speak. But when you kind of step back and you go, I'm kind of not sure what's happening, it doesn't feel bad. It's just like, it's a little bit more contemplative. It's a little bit more like, I have to watch to see what's happening. That is where change can happen. That's where something can align, or something we can let go and we can decondition, you could say. And so, you know, any version of this is a good thing, but yeah, meditation can induce yawning. You know, fascial work can induce yawning. Energy work, when you go really deep, you can start yawning. And, you know, here we're working with oils and working these patterns specific to human design. And, you know, when we're starting to align and shift, you're going to feel some sort of version of that some way. Yeah.
Seems like in these protocols, every time we do a different oil, I have a fit of yawning.
Yeah. That's actually quite a good sign. I mean, it doesn't have to be a yawn, you know, but the breathing will change, body tension will shift. You'll notice that you'll be thinking about something maybe that, you know, an hour ago, you're like, I need to do this, but I got to do this class. You're stressed out, and then you start doing it. And you're like, what was I thinking about? Like, oh yeah, I was a little wound up about that. Like, you know, and it becomes hard to recall. You know, you're just shifting from focus to awareness. Focus will come back, but it's not necessarily good to have one or the other. You want to be able to shift back and forth between the two. And so when you're doing these processes, it just shows that you're good at letting go, and you're good at aligning, and yeah, it's in process.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're so
Thank
welcome.
you. Thank you, Margot. Thank you, Greg. There's a few more comments here and some questions, Greg.
Mhm.
So someone said, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing your name correctly, Saijesh said, I noticed that my sensitivity to sound increased drastically. Barbara said she had a strong release from the back heart with the manifesting strategy
Mhm.
oil.
Mhm.
And Saijest again asked, I have a question. I observed that I sometimes breathe alternatively through the right nostril and the left nostril throughout the day. Is there a preference which nostril to use for this to be effective?
So ideally, you're kind of inhaling through both of them. That is actually very normal to go from one side to the next. They're associated with energy channels that run along the spine. If you've seen the caduceus, how the two snakes kind of intertwine down that staff, those represent the channels associated with each nostril. The right one runs hot, the left one runs cool, and you're going to shift throughout the day. And so the right is actually tied more to sympathetic nervous function, and which is fight, flight, or action and activity. And then the left is tied more to parasympathetic activity, which is a little bit more of cooling, resting, repairing. And throughout the day, you're going to shift back and forth. And so wherever you're at the time, I would just inhale, not focus particularly on one. There will be times where we will focus on one and then the other, but it's tied to a whole process. And so for right now, just stick them in front of your nose and inhale. And if you're feeling a little clogged in one of your sides of your nose, like sometimes there's a mucus buildup. So if you have a blockage in your left nose, like your left nostril, take your left fist and then stick it under your armpit and just let your arm kind of rest on that. And then if the blockage is in the right, you take your right fist and put it under the left armpit. You could also roll up a towel or something like that. But if you do that for just a little period of time, it actually will open up the blockage and sinus issue. Might not be long-term for the next couple of days, but for the process, it will work for that. Yeah.
Thanks, Greg. A couple more messages. Private message, very peaceful, very calm, and a little sleepy, spacey, not sure, not really attached to anything. And then feeling mellow. Catherine said she's feeling mellow, also some tightness between her shoulders, but more mellow than anything else.
Yeah, well, especially with aligning, I think Barbara said that she felt a little something come out of that area between your shoulder blades. And a lot of times this area is going to be like an old trauma, old hurt feeling, or just the transmutation of like emotions, like lower emotions and things like that. And so it's just the part of the body that gets impacted with that. And so you're kind of letting go of something, you're saying goodbye to something when that happens. But if it does feel like it's a little uncomfortable, you can use like the Palo Santo, or you could use the mugwort, but I would use either the Palo Santo or I would use the assemblage point. Inhale with your awareness just back between the shoulder blades and just blow that out, just blow it out.
Thank you, Greg. Joe, did you raise your hand? I'm getting a message. Okay.
Yeah, Greg, could you say more about the etheric cords, please?
Sure.
And what
Is there anything in particular you'd like to know, or you want me to just talk about it? Or?
Well, just like I thought, just think about different people in my life, and what's the purpose? Like, what's going on there?
Right. So etheric cords. Think of it like visually like this, like when you have interactions with people, old events, say it was like a car accident or a birthday party, you have like an energetic connection. And if you were to clairvoyantly observe, it looks like these little umbilical cords that are going off into different directions. You might have several to different people. They could be good, they could be bad. The good cords are significantly stronger than the bad cords. Even with the person who's being a jerk, you have good cords with other people that are significantly stronger than those. So the idea is energy runs from higher to lower, just like water. Like if you put, a tube between two things and some water is a little bit higher, it's going to run downhill a little bit to that lower place. And so energy does the same thing, but it's higher vibration versus lower vibration. And so what we're doing is, in these good situations, the people that you have a connection with, we're clearing out the stresses, the whatever emotion that's there, to increase a connection between you and that person, the ability to connect, the ability to interact. And the stress and things that are in that cord are not always about that person. Most times it's about other things, and those cords get like a little contaminated. They're not specific to that person, but they might impact your ability to connect with that person or that person's ability to connect with you. Now, if somebody is being, like, say, adversarial or difficult, or you have like some jerk at work that you're just every time you go to work, that's there is significantly more contamination in those cords that will make you feel uncomfortable, and it will make you a little bit reactive. It will affect certain parts of your nervous system. And what happens is eventually you start to take on the tendencies of that other person. Again, if you've ever just kind of noticed, like, you might be in an argument with somebody, you're going back and forth, and then at some point you kind of start mimicking their behavior back to them, or you start behaving a little bit like them. That is that negative energy is contaminating your energy body, and your energy body, being a mold or blueprint, begins just to follow the energy that's in the mold or blueprint. And so we want to be able to disconnect from these negative situations. Now, here with alignment, we're trying to undo like this silent, unconscious peer pressure. Like, no, I see you as an unaligned generator. That's your role. You're supposed to be this unaligned generator in my life. And you begin to switch. And then they'll go, no, I need you to be that unaligned generator in my life. And so cleaning these cords allows you to shift to a much greater degree without that unconscious peer pressure that comes from people, because they've already defined in their mind, at least in their unconscious mind, of what things are going to be. And so it makes it easier to kind of break out of that mold and become this more aligned person, without having the pressure from other people to go back to that not being aligned or misaligned, however you want to say that.
Yeah, the people
Is
that
that-
I chose to focus on was quite interesting. Were like my spouse, my mother, and a dear friend. Not necessarily adversarial, but
Right.
complex relationships, right? It's not the black and white, it's these loving relationships. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, like for example, like, take your spouse. Like, everything might be good with you and your spouse, but your spouse goes off to work, has a really horrible day, and comes back, feels awesome about you, but there's going to be a little bit of contamination from what your spouse went through at work, and it's just going to spill over into the interaction between you guys. It's not specific. It's not the way that your spouse is thinking about you or how you're thinking about the spouse, but that interaction still has an impact. And so it's a way of, even you're letting off the conditioning of the day, of the week, of the month, or even things that have gone on for decades. You're just starting to flush it out. And with the spouse or your mother or a friend, it allows for a deeper connection. And for somebody who's being difficult, it allows for you to be able to be in a place that's a lot more neutral and a lot less reactive. Like, I don't really have to resolve this. And, I had one client one time, she was working the etheric chords, and she goes, I had this epiphany. She goes, not my problem. It's your problem. And she just became so neutral that she was like, yeah, it's not my problem. Like I'm sorry you feel that way, but she was dealing with somebody who was being very difficult at work, and it's like, not my problem.
I'm
And
going to
so-
jump in here, Greg, just because we're at time and people are starting to hop off.
Mhm.
And I just want to thank you for that. That was an incredible insight into, we follow our patterns in part because of what we're being reflected back from the
Right.
outside.
Right,
People
right.
wanting to keep us in that structure because that's who
Yeah.
we are known to them
Right.
as. So it is the bottom of the hour, and people are saying thank you, Greg. They had to hop off, but wanted to give their thanks. And we're just going to take 1 minute here just to connect back to yourself and thank yourself, actually, for showing up for yourself. And we have just started a process. This initiated a process. So the invitation to stay present and bring your awareness to what you notice as you go through the week. Do this protocol yourself. I will send out the recording. Continue to work with it. Continue to work with your strategy and your type, and to take that leap to be more aligned and live in the flow with yourself in your life. Thank you all so much for coming, and we'll be in touch.